What's up, everyone? It's been a long time that you've seen the R3 in action. Trust me, it feels like forever for me too. But today I'm going to be talking about, do I still ride this thing even though I have a RSV4? And for that matter, a 1000cc bike. Everyone asks the question, since I have a 1000, do I even ride the 300? Is it even fun anymore? So that's what we'll be talking about today, and yeah. So for those who have been watching my channel since the very start or mid section, I started on this bike. This is my first bike. 2015 Yamaha R3, bone stock, brand new, showroom floor, got it a few months after release in the US. Best thing ever. I don't regret it one bit at all. I learned so much on this thing. And then recently, I did acquire a 2015, ironic, right? Aprilia RSV4 out in Reno back in October of 2018. Yeah, 18. So I've almost had that bike a year now. Starting it off is the R3. This bike has about 26,000 miles on it. I've done track days on it. I've done street, little twisties, whatever you want to call it. It's been such a fun bike. This bike is such a little lightweight, flickable bike. You can get away with a lot of stuff, and you're not going to break the speed limit. Well, you might. I mean, I've been pulled over a couple times, so I mean, I take back that statement. You can still definitely speed, but not as fast as the RSV4, of course. The biggest question that a lot of people ask was the power difference between a 300cc bike and a freaking 1000cc super bike. It's just not any 1000cc bike. It's a freaking RSV4. I mean, if you don't know what RSV4, look it up. It's crazy. They're ridiculous. So the power was the biggest change, of course. I mean, if you're going from a 40-ish horsepower bike to about almost 200 horsepower, 180, 190, give or take a few. So pretty much about 4.5, 5 times the power. So you'll definitely feel the power. So like right now, I'm in 4th gear already. I mean, I've done sprockets in the rear, so it does affect that a little bit. But with RSV4, I could still be in 1st gear right now, very comfortably, like, no doubt. So in terms of cruising speeds and stuff, the RSV4 is so much easier to cruise at, but also is a lot easier to cruise at a lot faster speed. Like, I could be cruising at 70, 80 and not even feel like I'm going 70 or 80 miles per hour. It would still feel like I'm going like 30 or 40. Now, do I miss the power whenever I'm riding the R3? Yes and no. The power does help in certain circumstances, like highway riding, definitely. So much easier to pass people and just get out of stuff faster. So in that standpoint, it's very helpful to have a higher CC bike. So like going back what I was saying about starting off on 1000, I could see people starting at 600s just fine. I still recommend a smaller CC for at least a month. I mean, if you really just want a 600, just go get it. It's whatever, just be safe. Just know what you're getting into. But the higher CC does help with highway riding. I will agree with that. I could see a big purchasing point if you're wanting a higher CC bike if you do a lot of highway commuting. Downshifts though, I love that. It's so satisfying. That's what I like about the smaller CCs. You can just bang through the gears, then rev match all the times that you want. Now, next up is seating positioning. I am about 5'6". I'm a little bit shorter, yes. On this bike, I can flat foot it easily, no problem whatsoever. The RSV4, on the other hand, was a lot harder to get used to. That bike was tall. I couldn't even flat foot it whatsoever. Even if I grew a few more inches, like, no, it's not happening. I thought about lowering it, but I'm like, you know what, that's going to defeat the purpose of getting that bike. It's going to mess up with the suspension, how it handles and turns, so I'm like, I had to get used to it. If I was going to keep that bike, I had to get used to the seating positioning and whenever you stop. On that bike, I don't think I have a video of it whenever I was sitting on it, but in terms of how it was whenever I put my feet down, I was pretty much 3/4, like not 3/4, like tiptoe almost. for both sides. If I leaned it to like how I usually ride, where I keep my right leg up on the rear brake whenever I stop, and then lean the bike just slightly on my left leg, so I'm holding up the bike with only my left leg, I could actually flat foot the RSV4 with just my left leg, which to my surprise, I'm like, I did not expect that. So I mean, it is very possible to ride that bike. I mean, I'm living proof. If you're 5'6", you can ride that bike. It will take some time getting used to the height difference, but yeah. Comfort level, this kind of ties in with it. RSV4 is a lot stiffer, suspension-wise, seat, everything. Just everything about it is just stiff. It's a very hard ride. Compared to this thing is like a sponge. It soaks up every bump, like right now. This road's very bumpy. The suspension on this isn't the best. It's very squishy. The R3 is a lot comfier to ride around the city and everything. You're not hunkered over in this race position 24/7. Now, I have to give it to the RSV4. It is one of the more comfortable 1000s that I've been on. So, take it with a grain of salt. Every 1000 is going to be not the best comfort level, especially for long distance. So, keep that in mind. When you're buying that type of caliber of a bike, you're not really buying it for comfort. When you're riding the RSV4, you're a lot higher up in terms of when you're riding. Like right here, I feel lower to the ground. Whenever I got off the RSV4 and got onto the R3, I felt like I was in a little boat, like I was underwater almost. I just felt like my hands were super high up and my seat was super low to the ground, like I was just skidding along the road. Versus the RSV4, I was a lot higher up. I just felt like I was coasting over everyone. That's how it's like, what do you call it? You're in a lifted truck versus a sports car. That's kind of how it feels, even though it's kind of vice versa. The truck is this thing because it's not as fast, but you get my point. It's the height difference. In terms of comfort for riding around the city and everything, if I don't care about racing people or just going fast, I do actually prefer riding the R3 around the city. One, it does get better gas mileage, but who cares about that? Bikes already get decent gas mileage. But it is a lot comfier and easier to ride, and you don't get in trouble as much. RSV4 is a little bit easier to get in trouble. You can get yourself into a little trouble a lot faster. I'll put it that way. Now for highway riding and a little bit longer distance, I do prefer the RSV4 just because the power is just so much easier cruising on the highway. I don't feel like I'm going to blow this thing up on the highway since I did change the gearing, so it doesn't do as well on the highway. It still survives. It can survive, but it's not that good. Oh, if I was on the RSV4, I would just be racing people like this guy over here, just 24/7. I mean, it just eats everyone for lunch. That's how fast that thing was. I mean, any 1000 would, but I mean, it's just like, I'm not used to 1000. Not being able to beat people on this thing. This thing can maybe beat a Camry, and that's it. Or a minivan, I don't know. Oh, dang, that's a new Jeep Gladiator. Actually lifted and stuff. I've never seen one that's actually modded. I've always seen them stock. They actually look really good. See, if I was on RSV4, I'd just be long gone. See, like, points like this is when I wish I was on RSV4. So, once you're on it, and you get on this thing, you're, like, out on the streets and stuff, you see these faster cars and whatnot, and, like, you just want to race them. It's just fun. It's so satisfying. If you have a bike or a faster car or whatnot, you know the feeling. It's addicting. And style aspects, since I didn't mod the RSV4 that much, I mean, I did mod it pretty good. Dang, those are some huge tires on that Gladiator. But I put the exhaust on, I did carbon fiber levers, the lever guards, windscreen. I did some stuff to it, but not as much as I did the R3. I bet if I spent a little bit more money on the RSV4 to make it a little bit more mine, like I was planning on, I think I would love the style points a lot better. But in terms of looks and stuff, I still prefer the R3 in terms of looks, since I did the headlights. Everything's just my style. RSV4 still has a little bit of stock look, so and styling, I prefer the R3. Now the sound though, oh, okay, the RSV4 just takes the crown, like no challenge. That V4 with the SE Project, holy crap, that is one of a kind sound. I get looks everywhere I go on that thing. I break necks whenever people are driving and stuff. It's crazy. That thing's loud. I thought this thing was loud. This is like, it sounds like a freaking Grom compared to that thing. If you ever heard one in person or ever get a chance, do it. Like, it is one of a kind sound. It is such a beautiful exhaust note. I think that's pretty good comparison of terms of how I like each bike. Some plus and minuses, but for the grand scheme of things, I love both bikes, but the R3 still has such a special place in my heart since it was my first bike. RSV4, I think I probably will get rid of it, sadly saying it. It's just freaking maintenance and stuff is just gonna be such a hassle. I've been thinking about selling it, or hey, if you're in the Dallas area and you have a 2015 plus R1 and you're looking to maybe trade for RSV4, hit me up because I might be interested. So, I mean, if you're interested in the RSV4, shoot me a message on Instagram right now at Yamaha Z. I'll put in the description and whatnot. But if someone offers me the right price for it and whatnot, I'll let it go, and then I'll eventually get another 1000, specifically the R1, because I need that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So hopefully that's about pretty much sums it up. You can tell which bike I do prefer riding more often would be the R3, but the RSV4 really blows my mind every time I ride it. So give and take, I like both bikes. So I still do ride the R3 even though I have the 1000. So that, I guess that's a bigger question that people were looking for. Do I still find the R3 fun to ride while riding the RSV4 now? So, and to answer that, yes, I still find the R3 fun to take corners a little bit faster, a little tighter. It has a certain place, and it has its place in track, tighter turns and all that stuff. RSV has its place for faster turns, faster tracks, big open tracks like Coda. So things like that. There's plus and minuses of owning both bikes. No bike's gonna be perfect. That's why you gotta own multiple. And that's pretty much sums up for this video. There's quite a bit of traffic right here. Sweating. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully it answers some questions. If you have more questions, or if you want me to make another video on a topic that you want to learn more about, that I have a preference about between the bikes or something else, leave a comment down and I'll get to it as soon as possible. As you can see, this is my first time riding in about, God, a month and a half. This is the first time I've been out in a while because of work and everything. So, and plus it's been hot. It's been like 101, 102 every day. So, Texas for you. Hopefully it starts cooling off. Probably not, maybe 2 degrees. But anyways, hopefully you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you on my next one. Later.